Hey everyone, thank you for spending a few minutes with us. Cliff Pierre and I'm Andy Gray. We're going to spend a few minutes talking about how you get people engaged, to really hear who you are and what you have to say. And there are two parts to what we're going to talk about. One is branding, getting to convey who you are so that people want to hear more. And then the second part, we're going to talk about personalization, getting those same people to want to take action. I get asked a lot, what is branding? Most often when people are saying, hey, what do you do for a living? They're just making polite conversation unless you make them care. If you can't make them care in those first 20 seconds, they're just giving you some free time, being generous about it. Now think about it this way. Jeff Bezos, the Amazon guy, it's what people say about you when you're not in the room. Think about this presentation that you just made, a bunch of people in the room. You feel good about it. You knew that you had something great to say. You walk out of the room. What are they saying? They're talking about you. Then there's this guy, Robert Kowalski, who's a financial writer. He once wrote something that resonated with me. You can't differentiate yourself. If you can't make people realize that you are being real, you're just like everybody else, a commodity. And then there's this guy back in the Mad Men days of advertising, David Ogilvy. What he said then is so loudly consistent to what today is all about. Those first few words, that headline, if you can't connect, that's where most of your money is being spent. So think about it this way. It's all about being real. The content you write, what you say, what you develop. People want to be connected. They want to feel that you are being real in what you say. Think about Garth Brooks, think about Lady Gaga, think about Katy Perry at the inauguration. They sang their hearts out. You got connected to the words they sang. And it's not just the people in front of you, it's the people behind. Starbucks or Ford or Coca-Cola or Nike. People behind those brands are using words or conveying ideas that make you want to think more, that make you think that their brands are very credible. So think about it this way. Consistency in your thinking here. Marty Neumeyer was a famous marketing writer. It's all about the gut that you have, the gut feeling you have when you hear somebody else speak. Or Simon Sinek, who's famous for his TED Talks. People buy because of why you do it. Not just who you are, but why. What's that passion? What's that drive? And then there's this guy, oh, hey, that's me. It's what you want your customer to think of you when they see or hear you, when they see your logo or they interact with you or what your community is all about. So that's the branding side. Now Cliff's going to take it and talk about how you personalize it. Take it away, Cliff.
Thank you, Andy, for everything that you've covered in the previous slides. I'm going to take over and I'm going to continue on. My name is Cliff Pierre, and me and Andy are partnering to present you all with this wonderful information and this powerful information. So pay close attention, because now we're going to talk about the benefits of branding. So when you're looking at the benefits of branding, companies come and go, brands last a lifetime. You want to understand the difference between a company brand and a personal brand. People are attracted to people, not companies. So what we mean by that is, a company brand is one thing, a personal brand is another thing. When you have a personal brand, you can attach it to multiple companies. When you just have a company brand, you're restricted just to that one company with that brand, unless you do mergers and different types of acquisition. But we're going to take it a step further. So personal branding, this is why it's important, and this is how you leverage it. You need to learn how to build a relationship with your end consumer, and they will never let you down. What we mean by that is just really building a long-lasting relationship. And building a brand takes years. On the other hand, it takes seconds to leave a permanent blemish on your brand. So you need to understand that what you put out with your brand, especially once it's built and once it's established, you need to understand how to choose your words carefully, because it can be detrimental. It can be detrimental overnight to a brand, and we don't want to see you go through all that work to have a blemish on your brand. So leveraging your personal brand, right? You want to focus on building a personal brand instead of just building a company. Position your personal first and leverage that brand to open up multiple companies. You don't want happy customers. You want raving fans, okay? So position yourself. What we mean by positioning is understanding how to present yourself in a way to attract people and have them coming to you. You want to leverage that brand to open up multiple companies. So if you look at some of the real big sports players that turned into serial entrepreneurs, if you look at certain hip hop artists that turned into movie stars, if you look at people that just understood that their name came with more opportunities than just their initial industry. So this is what we mean by leveraging your personal brand. But the first step is building it. And we want to make sure that you understand that you don't just want to build a personal brand. You want happy customers that become raving fans for your personal brand. So what is a raving fan, you may ask? If Tom Brady needed a place to stay, how many fans would line up to offer him their home, right? And what we mean by that is Tom Brady, the legendary, the GOAT, the 7-time champion, the honorable, incredible. I'm a New England Patriots fan, if you can't tell by now. He has built such a raving fan network, and he has people who love him. People wear their jerseys. They're screaming outside with their faces painted, screaming his name at the top of their lungs. If he needed anything from his customers or from his fans, they would line up to do it for him. And that's what you really want to do. You want to build your personal brand to the point where you want your customers to adore you and follow your every single move. So personal brands are magnified. In this situation, we're going to talk about the Kim Kardashian family, how they leverage their personal brand to create multiple streams of income, not only for one member of the family, but for multiple members of the family. So in this situation, we're going to speak just about Kylie Jenner. She leveraged her personal brand to create Kylie Cosmetics. And in 2019, she sold 51% of Kylie Cosmetics for $600 million, making her a billionaire. So she's the first billionaire of her family. Even though her sisters kind of pioneered and opened up the doors, she understood that she had a personal brand and she magnified it by investing in herself and believing in herself and believing in the product. But at the same time, she understood that she had a personal brand that she could build and she leveraged it. So that is a prime example of understanding a personal brand and how to leverage it. And most people are going to have this question right here. Where do you start? The first step is to identify your target audience and add value. You don't want to just be giving things away for free, but you want to understand building a relationship. You need to add value to your end user. And then you want to find a product or service that you can sell to your target audience. And you want to fine tune the process and seek guidance from experts. So me and Andy are more than happy to help you understand the exact steps that you should take building your personal brand. The general language and the general information is the same. The personal is where it gets nuanced and where it gets different. So it's always good to have that support. And if you need that support, we are here for you. So I'm going to pass it on back on to Andy, and we're going to continue this presentation. See you all on the next one. Andy, take it over. Let's continue doing what we do best.
Hey, thanks, Cliff. I think what you've just heard for the last several minutes, both Cliff and I have talked to you about how you get a brand and how do you personalize it. And Cliff's last slide said, where do you start? Well, let's take it a step further. We call it all about monetizing your brand. And we've got two different programs we want to offer. One is a very consultative, intense, 2-on-1, individualized 2-hour coaching session that Cliff and I will walk you through on a number of different areas. How to identify your personal brand, how to identify and position your business, how to understand who your customer is and their decision process, how to create leads, how to get customers engaged and moving forward to their decision to buy your product or buy your service, how to track the results. This is an individualized opportunity, and we're discounted price at $547, and we're limiting this to the first 5 people, and it's easy to sign up. Just email me. That's Andy at unitysm.com, INUNITYSM.com. And on the subject of your email, just put monetizing your brand coaching. We have another program too that we are offering, and that includes Reggie Graham with Cliff and me, a 12-week intense collaboration program where we're going to help you identify your personal brand and how to position and get your business well positioned strategically. Understand who your customers are and their decision process. We'll get to know who your customers are. We'll identify them with you. We'll help you create the leads. We'll get customers engaged and moving forward. And we will work together to work through that sales process from prospecting to closing and track other results. This is a $29.47 program. It's limited to the first 10 people. It's very intense with the three of us involved. And again, just email me, Andy@inunitysm.com. Subject, monetizing your brand, collaboration, and we will respond very quickly to get the program started for you. So again, 2 programs, a 2-on-1 with Cliff and me, consultative, intense, 5 people, 1-by-1, and also this 3-on-1 program, intense, individualized, 12-week program. So again, we look forward to working together, and both Cliff and I appreciate and thank you for your time, and we look forward to potentially working together and have a great rest of the day in the seminar here.